This incredible phone has gone under the radar, but is honestly one of the best deals in the Western smartphone market. It's not perfect and we will get to its pitfalls, but it does a lot absolutely right and makes me wonder why it's one of the lesser talked about models despite being elite on paper with some serious deals and additions via certain retailers. This phone has become one of my favourites at the moment. It is the Honor Magic 7 Pro, and don't click off the video, this isn't a flagship killer or an alternative to a Galaxy Ultra, but actually more of just a very good option, and I've used it on and off since I first got it, playing around with it for longer than just my review period for Android police. One of the problems usually associated with using slightly older phones like the ones I talk about on this channel is security, and I'm overly paranoid about it, to be totally honest. But thankfully my mind is put at ease when using NordVPN. It's a virtual private network software that you can use on your PC, your Mac, mobile phone, iOS, Android, tablet, and it lets you pick to appear from several different countries worldwide via rerouting internet traffic. This not only helps make your connection more secure, but it also just lets you use services that are region locked. Don't you just hate when you go abroad and you can't access your favourite comfort shows that you would typically enjoy with dinner back home, like watching the football or TV shows that are typically locked to certain locations? Well, you can use NordVPN to select your desired country and log in as if you're watching from said region. Keep yourself protected, especially when using older smartphones, and give NordVPN a try by going to nordvpn.com/RyanThomas and use code RyanThomas at checkout to let them know I've sent you, or go via the link in the pinned comment or this video's description. And if you don't like it, NordVPN offers a full 30-day money-back guarantee, and a big thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring today's content. By the way guys, if you could like and subscribe, that would really mean a lot to me. Thank you. I think it all starts with the purchasing experience actually, because you can get these from secondhand shops if you want to, but honestly I found the best deals brand new on honor.com. £150 off, £300 off. You can get this for similar pricing to a OnePlus 13 and way less than a Galaxy Ultra or Pro Max. And it comes with a free 100-watt brick in the box, as I don't believe they're allowed to sell them in the original box, so you just get it tagged on as an addition for free. And other times you get stuff like wireless chargers, free earbuds, which again spreads the cost out to increase the value. I do also believe in some regions Honor offers 0% finance, which is also great if you're the kind of person who wants to spread their phone out over monthly payments. When writing this video, you can get this for £800 with a 100-watt charger, a 100-watt wireless charger, and 0% finance, which is a crazy deal if you ask me. And the second you pick it up out of the box, you will realize that these Honor Magics are built so nicely. It feels like a seriously premium device. It's dense, but the weight is well distributed, the feeling in the hand, the glass on the back curving into the side rails. This is just silky, it's smooth, it's premium, it feels like an executive phone. The super thin bezels, I know the curved glass isn't for everyone, but it's only slightly curved. I think it looks and feels fantastic. I'm a big fan of the ergonomics, but it also has stuff like IP68 and 6.9 rating, so you can get caught out in typical British weather no problem, and have a blast from, say, a pressure washer when you're washing the car, and this is going to be absolutely fine. It's really sorted. What's also really sorted is the camera setup, and naturally I'm going to gravitate towards that. If you've watched this channel before, you'll know exactly what I mean. It does have the AI super zoom thing, which generates images kind of at long range based off of really mushy, terrible long range photos. And honestly, I detest AI, so I try to avoid that at pretty much all costs. But anything from the ultra wide, the main, the telephoto up to around 10 times on the zoom comes out really nice. I think Honor's colours can't quite match that of Vivo, Xiaomi, Oppo, maybe OnePlus as well. Images coming from this camera tend to almost look a little bit too bright, a little bit too colourful, which might be to your taste, but it's certainly not to mine. I think the photos in general, from an image quality standpoint though, are really good. And that is likely because the sensors that this phone is using are pretty huge, at least the main and the telephoto. The ultra wide is actually a really small sensor, smaller than even what you'll find on the OnePlus 13. So there is a considerable drop off once you go lower than 1 times. But the video is fantastic, the stills are very good, you get a lovely amount of natural bokeh because of the size of those sensors, and the main camera actually has an adaptable aperture so that you can get a little bit more background blur, and it can also let in a bit more light. The 3x is also really good. It's one of those huge sensors under the 3x periscope telephoto, so you get a lovely natural background blur, lots of separation. I use the 3x mostly on my OnePlus 12, and so when I switched to this and started using the 3x, you could actually tell there was a quality increase. And though again, I might not love the color that this phone produces, it's, you know, amazing in detail, bokeh, dynamic range. It's certainly one of the better camera systems out there, and I really do like the Honor camera app, by the way. It balances features and quality and quantity. It's all laid out very intuitively as well. But yeah, F that AI super zoom BS, that can get out of here. Annoyingly, as has been the case with previous versions of the Magic Pro, Honor has opted to put a smaller battery in the worldwide European model than is in the Chinese version for its home market, and I'm not sure why this is, because they're both silicon carbon batteries. It's about a 10% difference in just capacity, which is really annoying, though still funnily enough bigger than what you'll find in an S25 Ultra. It still comfortably lasts me a full day, if not 2 days most of the time, to be totally honest. It's a great battery, and it has 100 watt wires and 80 watt wireless charging support. Yeah, it smokes basically everything from Google, Apple and Samsung. This is a really well sorted battery and charging package, and it adds up to make the phone feel fantastic. Just like the Snapdragon 8 Elite that you'll find in this phone. And I generally try to avoid talking about specs and details in these videos, because quite honestly you could just look up a spec sheet and read that. I don't need to regurgitate all that stuff, but the performance and battery life of this thing is just so good. Mostly thanks to that chip, but also thanks to the fact that it has 12 or 16 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs all the way up to a terabyte of UFS 4.0 storage. It really isn't anything to be sniffed at. This is one of the fastest phones you can buy. It's as fast as they come, and I'm sure it will stay fast for a long time too, because it's just so good out of the box. I still have my Magic 5 Pro in the boxes behind me, and that's still pretty good. And if you're a constant short form video scroller, or you play loads of games on your phone, maybe you're just constantly zipping back and forth between applications, this is going to have your back. It's helped by the screen being massive. The phone itself is huge, just like most flagships right now. If you're worried about pocket space or have small hands, then maybe the Magic 7 Pro isn't for you, unfortunately. But one of the reasons I think a lot of people overlook this phone is because of its software, and I'm just not sure it's a massive problem anymore. Sure, it's not as clean as Oxygen OS, Pixel Experience, certainly not as good as One UI, which I think is the king at the moment. And there are some duplicate apps, but most you can disable, hide, or just outright remove. And I don't mind Magic OS in terms of its aesthetic and skin atop Android. It's a pretty strong departure from what you might see with, you know, stuff like the One UI or the Oxygen OS. And AI being a big factor here, I'm not a massive fan of that. But I know people who do love AI, and since it is quite a big pillar of the software on this phone, you know, that might add to the value for you. Certainly it doesn't for me, but Honor has promised 5 major platform upgrades. It's running Android 15 now, and so should get Android 20, which sounds great, though Honor Magic phones haven't had the most timely of updates over the years, so I wouldn't compare this to how Samsung or Google are delivering updates to their phones, but there are promised updates here. Perhaps the biggest hurdle or roadblock for this phone, like many other high-end Android devices, is of course the OnePlus 13 this year. And that phone is just such a good deal, with better camera colours, far nicer software, and being available in just straight up more regions than this one. It's a really tough one. But given the bigger cameras in this, the nicer feeling in the hand, and those deals on Honor's website, I think it's worth a look. £800, basically the same as the OnePlus 13 right now, with a 300 watt brick and a 100 watt wireless charger. It's a pretty sweet deal for a phone with such fantastic hardware. Again, still has the Snapdragon 8 Elite, which has been reported to be way more expensive than the previous versions of Snapdragon's highest end chips as well. This phone is seriously underrated, and one of my favourites at the moment. It's not just a flagship killer or an alternative, but stands as a sweet flagship option in its own right. From the savings to the package deals to the super high-end battery life and charging performance to the very impressive cameras to the wonderful feeling in the hand. It's hard to deny that this flagship is genuinely worth considering if it's available in your region. The Magic 7 Pro wasn't a phone I was expecting to really like this year, but I have thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. Even if it can't dethrone the OnePlus 13.